Good day, fellow gamers. My name is Tellerick, and welcome to another Magic Valley Studios video. This is going to be our final video that we produced for the year of 2017, and I thought, what a better way to wrap up 2017 than talking about what I considered the best game that I played for the year. Now, I'm very selective about what type of games I play and what genres of games I play. So this video isn't about what was considered the best game in all of the gaming community. It's not about what was the best console game or PC game or even just like only the best Xbox game. This is just simply a video about what I consider to personally be the best game I played in all of 2017. So for me, when I'm picking out a good game, there's about 7 different things I'm looking for that to me constitute a really great game. And if the game checks off all these boxes, then I'm like, wow, that was fantastic, and it goes up the list. And the 7 items are, first off, story. Does the game have an engaging story? The second box to check off is multiplayer. Does the game have a multiplayer setup that it's enjoyable and wants me to come back and do it more often? Third, and I think this is a very, very important part of a game, is its sound design. Is the music really good and it hits all the high points and low points of the story? Is the world sounds effective in conveying what you're doing in the game? The fourth box that I look for is art design. Is the game designed well? Does it look good? Is it immersive in all the little details that help to convey the story that you're playing or helps you to understand the multiplayer? Fifth item on the list is mechanics. Does basic movement feel correct? Is interaction with items that your character can use or items in the world or other characters, does that feel normal? Does it feel good when you're playing the game? So mechanics is an important part. Sixth item on the list is achievements. Does the game have a good achievement list? And I know this is more of an Xbox thing. For you guys on PlayStation, that's a PS, a trophy is what you call it. So for Xbox, I really love a good achievement list. Is there achievements for doing completions or finding certain items in the game? So a really good achievement list will make me come back and play the game more often. And that really leads into the 7th point. Does the game have good replayability? Is it an experience that you want to do more than once? Because if you pick up a game and you only play it once and you're like, yippee skippy, wasn't that great, was it? So does it have good replayability? So using that 7-point list as our guide, let's take a look at what I consider to be the best game I played of 2017. And the winner is Prey. Now, Prey was a game that, when it was released in May of 2017, initially reviewed very poorly due to a bug that was present in the game when it was about to be released. Having said that, Arcane Studios and Bethesda Softworks did a very good job of fixing that bug very quickly, and the result is a phenomenal game in my opinion. Now, for those of you who have never heard of Prey, Prey is a first-person shooter set in a science fiction environment, but I would really say that it's more of a first-person shooter with a combination of stealth options involved. And I really liked that blend. It was a very interesting approach to a first-person shooter game, and it gave you a lot of options in how you could play the game. If you go through the 7 points I just listed, first off, the story. The story is great. It has some very interesting characters, some amazing plot twists that I totally didn't see coming, and I'm a big fan of science fiction, so to have a game that surprised me with its originality was very refreshing. In addition to the really good main storyline, you also have a number of side quests that add quite a bit to the environment of the station that the story is set on. Some of the side quests, you get to see a bit of the underbelly of secret dealings going on, and also just the day-to-day routine of what's happening on the station. And it adds a nice touch to the universe that's built, or the small universe that's built in Prey. And so just the addition of the side quests makes it even better than just having that wonderful main storyline. Now, Prey doesn't have a multiplayer mode. It is a single-player, story-driven, narrative-type game. And in this case, that doesn't hurt it at all. So skipping the multiplayer, I'm going to go over to the sound design. I'm going to say the sound design in this game is fantastic. The music has a subtle dread. There's a bit of a subtle dread to the music, and that little bit of apprehension that goes along with the music plays very well into the story. And there's a bit of variation with the music as you go into different portions of the game and the story. And the sound design overall for music was excellent, but also the sound design for the antagonists in the game, the enemies in the game that you encounter when you start to pick up the sound cues from those enemies. It immediately gets you on guard. Just the environment itself, the things that happen on the station, such as space sound, such as objects that move in the game. It was extremely well done. The sound design was fantastic for this game, and it was a joy to listen to as you're playing it. Okay, and now moving on to the art design of the game. I love the art design. It had a lot of unique objects and shapes in the overall design of the environment you play in. A lot of it, though, is still familiar for those of us who still live in the 21st century. So there's a easy to pick up familiarity with a lot of things, but at the same time, there's a nice subtle hint of futurism in a lot of the objects you interact with. I also thought that the complete design of the station itself from top to bottom was really well done. If you're in, say, the crew quarters, you know in an instant you're in the crew quarters and you're in a space where people are living on a daily basis. Or if you journey down into, say, the Arboretum, it has this nice lush design to it. Or you go to the bridge and you immediately have that sense of, okay, this is a place where people are working and there's a sense of command, and it's really well designed. It's really well done. And then adding on top of that, you have the antagonists of the game, where you have these separate enemies, and each one's a bit unique and has a different threat level to your character. But the designs for each one were well thought out, because the moment you pick up on the visual and audio cues for that antagonist, you can put together a game plan of how you're going to deal with it or avoid it. And there is a wonderful uniqueness to the enemy that you face in Prey, considering, you look at a lot of other popular science fiction franchises such as Halo, or say Destiny, or pick your choice. But Prey has a nice uniqueness to it that I really enjoyed. So kudos to the guys who did the art for this game. It was really well thought out, and every time you go into a different room and area of the game, or the station, I should say, you have so many things you can look at and interact with and either use for your character or to just, oh wow, they put that in here and it makes it more real, more livable. Okay, and now I'm going to move on to the mechanics of the game. Now, it is a first-person shooter, but unlike a lot of first-person shooters nowadays, you don't have the option to aim down sights. So it almost has a third-person feel to it. So it's a little bit different, but once you start getting into the game, it doesn't become a big deal, and you still have that ability to use familiar weapons to deal with threats. Now, the game does have a unique weapon called a glue gun, Gloo, and don't ask me what the acronym is, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But the glue gun has the ability to kind of freeze opponents, but it also gives you the ability to climb into different sections of the rooms that you're in and explore areas that you normally couldn't get to. And that was a really interesting addition, and it gives you different pathways to explore or get through an obstacle versus, say, using ability or something. And speaking of abilities, you have abilities you can pick up and add to your character, and those abilities grow the uniqueness of the game. You can add certain alien elements, and I won't tell you what they are. You might be able to see someone in the video here, but you can add those certain alien elements to make your character have different abilities, or you can also add certain other human abilities that give you other options as you go. Say you want to break into a safe in a laboratory. Well, then you're going to have to upgrade your character to have the ability to hack into that safe. You don't get that right away. Or let's say you want to deal with an alien threat without using a gun. You have an alien ability, you can blow them away or torch them or whatever. So you have these really interesting mechanics, and it has a nice system of you have a control wheel you can pull up, select that ability, use the ability to deal with the threat, or in the case of like hacking an object, you can break into it if you have the ability. So you have a lot of options for your character to grow and do different things, and one playthrough, if you want to play a certain way, can be completely different from your other playthroughs, and you have different options you can explore in how you grow your character. Another mechanic that was put into the game that I give top marks to was the spacewalk aspect of the game. There's a few times in the game where you're going to be doing an EVA, and it's one of the first times I've gotten into an EVA situation in a first-person shooter and gone, oh, there's actually a gravitational drift here. It had whoever did the EVA portion of the game put some thought into the fact that, oh, there is inertia involved with science. And call me crazy, but I actually found that really enjoyable. The fact that someone put some thought into how an object moves in space with or without thrust. So outside the station, you'll also have things you're going to look for besides inside the station and things you can interact with. But that mechanic of how you actually fly your person in space, I thought was really, really well done. So as a final note on the mechanics, there's nothing like super groundbreaking here. If you ever played BioShock or Dishonored, it has a familiar feel to it in that aspect. But the mechanics that are in the game are very solid and very enjoyable. And like I said, the microgravity situation I found very enjoyable. So as a whole, the mechanics are very solid, and it helps to give you a good sense of what you can and can't do, and gives you options in how you can deal with threats and puzzles. And I thought it was really well designed. My last 2 points I'm going to tackle simultaneously. Achievements and replayability. Now for me, a good game has good achievements. It'll have a list of things you can do and you can pop in the game. And Prey has 48 achievements. Out of these 48 achievements, a few of them are for playing the game different ways, completing it different ways. A few of them are for being very aggressive and more of a dark individual. And there's another achievement in there for being a mercy type paragon individual where you are a very good person. There's a few achievements involved with collecting things. And then there's a few achievements that are secret, and my hint to you about the secret achievements is do side quests. Okay, I'll leave that there. But there's also a decent number of achievements that are involved with just doing things through the story play, and you can't miss them. As a whole, out of the 48 achievements, being the completionist, I have all 48, and I would say that they really contributed to me wanting to go back and play this game again. And I did about 5 playthroughs on Prey. But even without the drive to accomplish all the achievements in the game, I still think there's a ton of replayability in Prey. And I say that because there's so many options in what you can do with your character, different paths you can take in which abilities you use, or also what's happening in the story in the side quest. Do you want to play the story path number 1, or do you want to finish story path number 2 or path number 3, or do you even want to just take the shortcut? There is a shortcut involved somewhere. You can find it for yourself. But there is a lot of options, and those options make the game appealing to play over and over. So in the area of achievements and replayability for Prey, I think they go hand in hand. But for me personally, I put 100 hours into the game, and I enjoyed it the whole time. I would say that the replayability of this game is really good. It's one of those games you can come back to over and over and still enjoy it. So in summary, best game of 2017, the award goes to Prey for a wonderful story, some fantastic sound and art design, some really fun mechanics, and an achievement list I had an absolute blast completing. Well, thank you very much for watching the video. My name is Telric from Magic Valley Studios, and if you're looking to see more of these videos down the road come 2018, please give us a like, definitely subscribe, and we will see you next time.